What's up, beautiful people? We are back and we are recapping season 10 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Well, this season, Kiara and Wendy are having a little disagreement with Wendy's dismissive behavior, which she's been accused of many a times. Guess who's back? Monique Samuels, and Giselle says she was happy to reconnect with Monique and see if she's still the same person. And of course, the queen herself, the Grand Dame, has finally been released from jail and will have her season 10 premiere on The Real Housewives of Potomac. So listen, join me and Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva as we recap this season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. And it's all in good fun, so make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to both channels. See y'all soon.
All of the cast members are college educated. It's a big deal.
I have a doctorate in medicine, but I also have a doctorate in find outology because I will find out all of your lies.
I have a degree in medicine, specializing in OBGYN, but I really have a PhD in keeping the peace.
I have a degree in medicine, but I also have a PhD in gathering the girlies.
I actually have a degree in biology, psychology, and nursing, but I also have a degree in making sure that resolutions get solved. I actually have a doctorate in dental surgery degree, but I also have a PhD on spilling the tea.
All of the cast members are college educated.
Good evening, everybody. We are back and we are in the building to recap the BRAXTONS season 2, episode 3.
It's 4.
Sorry. Episode 4, Where Did We Go Wrong? Good evening, Auntie.
Good. How you doing?
Listen, I am here. I am here. And you know what? Listen. It's been a few days since this episode has aired, and I'm curious to see how this live is going to go today because I want to know where your thoughts are. I want to know where the people's thoughts are because I have thoughts. So we got to get into it.
We got to get into it. I mean, I got to say this. For anybody that is not watching the BRAXTONS, you need to watch. They are giving us real reality TV. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth and the facts. And I couldn't wait for us to get together to talk about this episode, Royaire, because let me tell you something. I got stuff to say. It was wild. It was crazy. I'm ready. I'm here for it.
Okay. Well, listen, y'all, we are live on both channels, Chronicles of the Gray-Haired Diva and Royaire's World. So make sure you hit that like button on both channels. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to our channels and do us a favor, hit that share button. Let the people know we are live and we are recapping the BRAXTONS episode 4, Where Did We Go Wrong? Whew. Well, Auntie, Diva, I think we went wrong about 12 years ago when we got on the show and we did not have a real sisterhood and we was trying to play like the sisterhood was really existing when in reality it really wasn't, because sisterhood showed its rare head on Friday night with the ladies at the dinner table. You know, we've been waiting on this scene for about 4 weeks now.
We have. And I like the way they did it.
Oh no, they did that. If you're gonna run it back, that's how you run it back, and then bring it back up to current moment. That's how you do it. Okay? The girls did what needed to be done. They shut the TV down. So, I mean, did you want to mention anything before we get into this? Did you have anything on your mind, or?
I'll just say this: all the sisters. For it, you know, this is Diva Thoughts. All the sisters are full of doo-doo except Tamar. Let's get into it.
Let's get into
except Tamar. They full of doo-doo, okay? They full of it. I saw them. I saw them this episode, okay? I saw them. And Toni wants to talk about Tamar's slip was showing. No, Toni Michelle, your slip was showing. Let's get into it.
Oh my goodness. Well, I figured we was not going to be on the same page. So here we go.
Here we go.
So here we are. We are at this dinner that we've been seeing for the past 4 weeks, everybody. Okay. And so the original thought of what we came for the dinner for. We came for the dinner Toni, Trina, and Towanda came with the impression that we were talking about mommy, okay? Miss E last episode, she had to have another stent put in her heart. Now, the last time the stent was put in, she had a heart attack, okay? And so everybody is now concerned because Miss E did not tell us that she was having a heart attack. She shared with Logan that she was having a heart attack. So the sisters had to find out Tamar found out via Logan. The sisters found out via Tamar because of Logan, okay? So we arrived at the dinner table. And so, last week we ended off, unfortunately, Towanda wasn't feeling very supported. Tamar thought she was disinvited to the wedding and to the bridal party or the bridal bachelorette party after she heard that she didn't want to be there and all of this stuff, okay? So we're picking up back at the dinner table, and Tamar feels that nobody came to her defense when it came to her business, okay? Toni said, that she is always backing up Tamar. If her publicist has to put any more money into backing up Tamar, it's going to be a problem, okay? And so Tamar feels, I am my own entity. I don't need your publicist to back me up, okay? So then Tamar, she wants to know who gave the address to her house, okay? Because the house
gave that man? Who gave that man my address?
Okay, who gave it to her? She want to know. And let me say this. The questions that Tamar were asking were valid questions, okay? These are valid questions that she deserved the right to have an answer to. Now, Tamar did mention to us that house is not in her name. So it wasn't like the man could go down to the register of deeds and look it up, because that wasn't the situation. Trina was trying to understand what Tamar was saying about the man, this letter coming to her house. And, she was just sitting there in confusion because this is the first time, allegedly, that Trina is hearing this story and hearing about this situation. Towanda asked, well, do I know where you live? She said, no, I don't. You don't, because you don't come. You don't never stop by anyways. And Towanda said, exactly. And so this is where the conversation went completely left, in my opinion, okay? Because we jumped from the conversation of we here to talk about mommy to here we talk about, the cease and desist. Now we talking about the past and people, putting money down on people's houses. So apparently Tamar put some money down for Towanda in order to get her house, okay? And so she said, well, I don't just, what did she say? Sorry. She said that she couldn't have sent the letter because she doesn't go to Tamar's house. And Tamar said, hello, thank you. Tamar said, of course you don't, because I'm the one to put money down on your house anyway. So of course you wouldn't come over. And Towanda said, thank you so much. I appreciate the gift. And she said, well, since you got in your accident, I want my $50,000 back too. Okay. And so Towanda is claiming that this was a gift that Tamar offered her, okay? She said that she was prepping to buy her house, and Tamar said, well, Towanda, I want to help you buy your house. Let me give you this money, okay? Well, Tamar is saying that ain't how it happened, that Tawanda's lender needed to see this money in her account, so she asked to borrow the money. She would give her back the money the next day when she got a check, because she was waiting on a check to come in the mail. Well, next thing Tamar knows, she was listed as a creditor on Tawanda's house. This is a mess.
A creditor for her Tawanda's bankruptcy.
Her bankruptcy.
So if I gave you the money, why would you put me on as a creditor, saying that you still owe me this money? Let's keep it 100.
Okay.
It ain't make me, the math ain't mathing. But go ahead.
Math ain't mathing. Okay. So, Towanda is saying thank you and all of this. Then there brings up a conversation of Towanda stealing from Tamar's credit cards. Okay. Apparently, Towanda had a phone line with 6 people on the line, 6 lines. Okay. And the family plan. Come to find out, Tamar's credit card is the one that's paying on the family plan. And so Toni says she does recall that. And so Towanda says, well, does that make it true? Toni said, well, no, of course that does not make it true, but she does conversation. Okay? She doesn't call it. And so then Towanda says, well, I'm not the only one that steals, because you steal too. And so Tamar said, well, what do I steal? What exactly do I steal? And she said, well, you steal men. Whose men? Tony's, her ex-boyfriend, or, her ex, whatever the case may have been. And so then chaos erupted at this point, everybody, okay? Tamar stands up. She slaps a glass off the table, splashes Towanda and Trina. How dare you effing B, talk about I did this. You the one. He said that you slept with him. Meanwhile, Toni is like, stop it. Wait, no, we're not doing this. Trina's face is telling all of everything because Trina's face is saying, you telling the truth, everybody telling the truth. Somebody got a role in everything. So now Tamar is all upset and saying, so you think I slept with your man too? Your new man? And I believe the new name was Birdman. This just allegedly based off of what, how things were going on. So Tony's like, don't you go there. Don't you dare go there. She stands up. She's standing over Tamar. Tamar jumps up and it's a whole scene. Trina steps in between Tamar and Toni and separates them and reminds Toni that she is a superstar. You are a legend. You cannot be acting like this. Meanwhile, producers have stepped in and try to break up Tamar and all of their situation going on. Tamar then proceeds to turn around and snatch Trina by the back of her hair on camera. And then decide
look, and kicked her.
And I'm missing a few details because, a mental health conversation falls in between there. Towanda says she's not going to argue with somebody that's sick. Toni says that mental health is real and we need to talk about mental health. This needs to be an episode about mental health. Okay. Then, so after chaos erupts, a little bit before that as well, Tamar says that the rest of the sisters need to be on Alaxapro. She's on 20 milligrams a day. And they all need it because they got some issues too. She's got depression and anxiety because of them, according to what Tamar is saying, okay? So, everything erupts at the table. The ladies are up. Toni is saying Tamar don't have a right to put her hands on you. She don't have a right to say this, and that. Also in that conversation is brought up, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place, so forgive me, everybody. But also in that conversation is brought up that Toni mentioned to Tamar that maybe we should bring Ashley on the Braxtons. Okay? Now, Toni does deny saying it at first. Then in her confessional, she did said it. Okay? But she didn't really mean it. She was just kind of making a suggestion. She didn't think that Tamar would actually take it serious. So all of this chaos and confusion has erupted at the table. Toni leaves out because she's lost control. She just can't be in this environment. Then we have Tamar yelling and screaming, talking about the girls are jealous and they haters and they mad at her. And she 48. And if she was, if they was looking like this at 48, she would be mad at them too. All of this confusion. Then, Tamar says that she knows that Towanda slept with that man and she put it on Tawanda's children. And Towanda said, you're not going to curse my children, not today, not up in here. So then Towanda leaves, Tamar leaves, and Trina is the last man standing. Are we ready to be demiked?
Oh, and wait, and Towanda was like, Trina, let's go, Trina. Let's go.
Also in this conversation, it is mentioned about Towanda wanting to press charges against her sister.
Nasty work. She told Toni to press charges, and Toni was like, I'm not doing that.
I'm not gonna do that.
Nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty. You ready for my take on this situation? So first of all, we've been waiting for this moment for this dinner. And for this dinner alone, the Braxtons did the darn thing, and the season ain't even over yet. Okay? So they did the darn thing. This dinner right here was everything. And I like the way production chopped this thing up. I was here for it, every single moment of it, right? So let me say this. They thought they was coming there to talk about mommy, but Tamar came with what everybody likes people to do. Everybody wants people to bring the receipts, but I guess it depends on who's bringing the receipts, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody want to talk about bring the receipts. Where's the receipts? Well, she had 4 manila envelopes with nothing but receipts, and I was here for it. And she had every right to be asking, because Royaire, if my house is not in my name, when they go to do the search where Diva lived, they're not going to come up with nothing unless somebody told them, yeah, she live over there and the house is in her mother's name. And they look up my mama, get the address, and come and deliver this cease and desist. So somebody did have to give up her address and where she lived. Because like she said, the house is not even in my name. I spend a lot of money to protect me and my kid. So who came up to my building? I want to know too, Tamar. Who gave that man your address? Who? I want to know. So now here we are, right? Somebody gave the address. They all sitting at the table, thick as thieves, want to try to tell us, the audience, that Tamar is crazy. But no, Tamar was good. She's speaking the truth, okay? Somebody gave that man her address, all right? So now we're talking about the address. Let's move on to the other pieces of this conversation. Toni Michelle, whatever persona she wants to put in front of us. Listen, Toni, I'm still going to get the ticket to the tour with you, a new edition, and Boys the Men. But let's be clear here, Toni. I see who you are, and use a whole lie, because you sat in that table and act like Tamar wasn't telling the truth when you said let's have Ashley on the show. Then you're going to do this confessional talking about, well, if I said it, I was joking. So you want to play this game and said she got mental health issues. Why would you play a joke with somebody you know that got mental health issues? You got to make it make sense. Pick a lane, pick a side. What you doing here? So you want to claim she got all these mental health issues, but then you going to joke with her according to you and say, let's have Ashley on the show. No, you wanted Ashley on the show. You called her show a chicken circuit. You wanted Ashley on the show because you wanted the ratings for the show. Toni, we're not slow. We see you. Toni Michelle, or whatever. And I want to say this. She wanted to talk about, Toni Michelle, it could be a little hood or whatever the case may be. No, Toni, you hood. And the persona that they giving you that they giving us of Toni Braxton, that ain't the real you. It's the same thing to me of the persona they tried to give Whitney Houston, and Whitney Houston didn't want that persona. Okay, Whitney Houston was straight up hood, but they tried to make her to be out, the princess of R&B or whatever the case may be. And so that's what Toni is doing in our face. Toni know that she told Tamar that Tamar should bring Ashley on the show, not on her show. And she calling her show the chicken circuit. But meantime, back at the ranch, you wanted her on there, like I said. And then later on in the confessional, you want to tell us, well, I did say, we know you said it because Tamar said you said it. And I believed her when it came out her mouth. And then Toni want to say, we're not ghetto. Girl, what y'all call this right here? When you want to play games with your sister's mental health, if that ain't ghetto, you got to tell me what is. The second lie we caught Toni at that dinner is when Tamar said she found out about the phone. When she said she found out about the phone, she said, Toni, I called you. And Toni had to admit, she said, yeah, she did call me. And then Towanda going to say, well, of course she called you. Does that make it true? Toni going to say, no, Toni, you dirty. You dirty. What makes it true is the fact that Towanda never said, no, I didn't have no family plan on your credit card. No, that ain't true. You's a lie. So that's the first thing I would have said. She never said that. All she said is, does that make it true? And Toni going to go, no. Toni, you messy, and is Toni the oldest? Mm-hmm. She got to do better as the oldest sister. This is dreadful. This is dreadful. because she knew Tamar was sitting there telling the truth. Tamar didn't even realize, because probably she was going through so much. She didn't even realize that the whole time she paying a family plan bill. Now let's get into this money that went to Towanda and her house. Towanda, if it was a loan, then you lied to the IRS, and we need the IRS to come in. Now, no, I'm sorry, the bankruptcy company to come back to you, the courts. Because how you going to list out on your bankruptcy papers as a creditor, but yet you said it was a gift? Which one is it? If it was a gift, you don't have to pay back a gift. How you going to put that on your bankruptcy thing? So Towanda is a snake. I'm not here for the nonsense. And isn't Towanda house in foreclosure? I don't know if her house is in foreclosure or not. And it shouldn't be, because they getting this money from the thing. I do know that she filed for bankruptcy, and Tamar said that she put her on there as a creditor. So are we doing a what's the name now from the Real Housewives of Potomac? You listing items and stuff that ain't real. So I move forward to this. Oh, and the whole accusing of sleeping with the men and all of that was messy. And then Towanda in the confessional talking about, I don't have mileage on my coochie. And all of them with the joking with the mental health, I thought that was deplorable. And it was like, and Toni talking about this should be a mental health episode. Yeah, because I think, like Tamar said, you need a pill, you need a pill, you need a pill. Everybody could be taking some pills because they was gaslighting the crap out of her. Now, when it got to the point, and I didn't realize that Tamar was so tall. Maybe she had on like really high heels, but she was towering over Toni. Mm-hmm. Toni ain't but a minute big. Mm-hmm. And Toni got up. Wait, let me back up to when Toni talked about her publicist. And then again, in the confessional, she had to admit, Tamar never used my publicist, but I just had my publicist out there, what do you call it? Like cleaning up her mess. Toni, you told 3 lies at the one dinner that we was able to prove. I'm over you, girlfriend, and I'll see right through you. Now, Toni gets up. She's upset, but Tamar got up and bucked her chest. Right up in Toni's face. She was all up in Toni's face. Mm-hmm. Ready for it. And Trina came and got in between them. And she did, because they gave us the back. She did do like this with her hand. She did do like that with her hand to Tamar. Okay. And so Tamar was like, yo, don't be touching me. She said, you touched me. And then she got to snatching the wig, and then I guess she put her foot in her booty. I don't know.
Excusing violence because somebody went to step in between the two of you and separated both of y'all.
Violence, but what I am saying is, I got a problem that it was 3 against 1, 100%. And in that dinner, by their own confessionals, all 3 of them was lying on Tamar.
And it should have been 3 against 1. It should have been.
Well, I don't know about that, but okay, let me finish. So she bucked up and chaos ensued. And then Toni said she was gonna leave. And let me tell you the dirty work of Towanda. How you gonna tell your sister? How you gonna tell your sister to call the cops on your other sister? I was like, where they do that at? And I thank God I give this to Toni. Toni was like, I'm not doing that. She's like, no, you need to call the cops and press charges. Why? Because you got mud shots, Towanda. Now you want Tamar to have one? That was dirty. I don't care what nobody say. And to me, if you are doing this show in the name of Tracy, and you got one sister who you can't ever see again until you meet them again on the other side, and you treating your live sisters like this, I think that is trash. Trash. That you are treating Tamar like this and she's still alive. So you want to honor Tracy? Make up with your sister. If you claim that Tamar has mental health issues, that's how you treat the mentally ill? You ain't no better than the people in the street that don't know how to handle the mentally ill. If you don't know how to handle it in your own family, how do you expect people in the street to be able to handle it? Shame on Trina, shame on Toni, and shame on Towanda. And I'm standing on that.
Wow, I didn't think we was going to be this far off the board, but here we go. So here's my issue. Let me say this and let me address it this way. Tamar has a right to feel however she wants to feel because everybody has a right to their own feelings and their own opinions. My issue was not Tamar having a problem with this cease and desist, and wanting to know. My issue was Tamar's behavior and how she handled this. Now, Tamar is the first one to tell us that she's healed, she's moved on, she's forgiven. We were here to talk about the cease and desist. She said in her own words, in her own confessionals, that she came to talk about this cease and desist. And like I said at the beginning, nobody at this table was innocent. Nobody was innocent. Everybody has played a part in this. But what I do disagree with is you say that you came to talk about this cease and desist, but later on in that same scene, you then said that you came to expose your sisters. What are we doing here? What are we doing? My other issue with Tamar is it's all free for all when it comes to you. You can say what you want about people. You can bring up the past and talk about what they've done to you and how they've treated you and all of this. But then when the bullets come back shooting at you, then we have it's, oh my God, it's me. Everybody's ganging up on me. You can't send a cease and desist without knowing who sent you the cease and desist. How am I supposed to take accountability for something that I did not send you? I didn't send you. I didn't send you that cease and desist. Even if I did, and I can't say that. If I knew about the cease and desist, how can I defend you if I don't agree with your side? Tamar felt that the family should come out and agree with Ashley sharing her thoughts and opinions or sharing whatever she went through in that situation. If I, a part of the family, don't agree that that family member should come out and say something, why should I sit on TV and be like, oh yeah, Tamar, yeah, they should. I don't agree with you. I don't agree. So because I don't agree, at one point I did, but now for Toni, one point Toni did. She said that she should have been on the show, right? Well, then she changed her mind. In the words of Wendy Williams, we all have a right to change our mind. All of us. We all do. So because now I changed my mind and now I'm no longer on your side, it gives you an excuse to break glass, toss water across the table, pull wigs and kick people, assault people, our family, because I'm not on your side, because I didn't send the cease and desist. Tamar knows who sent that cease and desist. Why is your upset not with those individuals? Why is it with your sisters? Because you wanted them to band on your team, and now because they didn't band on your team was something that they did not agree with. They did not agree that Ashley should have been on the show. So because I didn't agree, you didn't get the answers that you wanted. Now you can come out and spill everybody's tea about Towanda owing you this money that you put down for your house. How was that relevant to what we came here to talk about today? How is that relevant to the cease and desist? It's not. We didn't come to talk about that. How is being on this phone plan, how is that relevant to this cease and desist? How? Where in the cease and desist does it talk about the phone plan? Where in the cease and desist does it talk about this house? We're not here to talk about that. That is not what we're here to talk about. But you bring those things up. So you bring them up. Cool. But then when we bring up stuff about you, then you get mad and choose to act out and misbehave. Iyanla Van Zandt said herself, anybody who would behave like this has always been looking for attention that they never got. And here you are yet again looking for this attention because the people don't agree with how you see things. You're upset because we don't agree that Ashley should have been on the show. You're upset because we didn't agree that this person shouldn't have sent you the cease and desist. I'm sure it cannot, as much as Tamar be on social media, out in the streets doing everything with everybody, I'm sure it was not hard for the attorney to get her address. It was probably not that hard. You have made a lot of enemies out. You just recently fell out with Funky Diva. How we know Funky Diva wasn't the one that gave it? How do we know that Michael Braxton, your brother, whose child we're talking about, how do we know that he didn't do the cease and desist? Where's your upset for that? And then also, you saying that they ruined your business, okay? Whoever sent the cease and desist sent it for that specific podcast episode. Why did you stop your podcast after that? If you were out here to genuinely help people, you're trying to help people. This is what you said that you were about, Tamar. You trying to help people. I ain't seen a podcast since, Diva. And we looked that up ourselves. I can't agree with Tamar and her behavior. She had a right to know who sent the cease and desist, but if they don't know genuinely who sent it, she asks, who gave my address? That was the question. If none of them gave the address, how can what you want me to sit up here and lie and be like, well, I was the one that gave the address so that you can feel good about now knowing who gave the address? What would have been the point? What would have been the reason? What would we have? I'm just so confused of how we're giving Tamar this pass to behave how she did because she didn't. We're gaslighting Tamar because we didn't agree with Tamar. So because now we don't agree with Tamar, we can just act a fool and do what we want to do per usual. This is the same Tamar that said on this episode that said, I don't want to go back to being the Tamar who I used to be. Where's the change? Where is it? Where is it? I experienced mental abuse, emotional abuse, and now physical abuse. We see this with our own eyes on a regular for 12 years, people. 12 years. Tamar has been the same person that she has been. And like I said, not saying that the other sisters are innocent in any way, but it's not what you say, it's how you say it and how you deliver it. And how she delivered it was completely wrong, and it closed everybody off from receiving anything she had to say. And Towanda may be a thief. Yes, she may be. If those allegations are true, then yes, she is. But Tamar is not innocent either. If we doing stuff for family, if we really family, why are we bringing this up in front of the camera? If you really had an issue with me about this, why have we not talked about this privately? I just don't understand. I didn't understand the behavior. It was unacceptable. The fact that they need to have a show without her is Toni. There is no show. Towanda does not have the talent. Neither does Trina. Okay. So why did you come back then? If you are this unhappy, and to the fact of what you said earlier, Diva, if we doing this for Tracy, how did what Tamar did represent Tracy in any way?
How is Towanda not speaking to his filming time? How is that for Tracy?
I wouldn't want to speak to you either if that was your behavior on a regular, consistent basis.
Why is she speaking Diva, this woman? We just gotta move forward.
What Tamar was saying was not wrong at all. There was nothing wrong that she said, but how you did it is what ruined the whole situation for me. How you did it, you assaulted your sisters for what? Because they didn't agree with you. So let's just say we sat at this table and everybody agreed. Yes, Tamar, we do agree. What would have been the difference?
We can move forward to the next scene. We got to agree to disagree. I think them bringing up the mental health was nasty work. I think if you are the bigger person, then you're going to sit there and say, I'm not going to talk to a mentally ill person and bringing up all of that. I think it was just nasty work. And to me, that is the gang up. If you know that somebody is mentally ill and you're sitting there and you're going to act a fool and still try to egg them on. I just thought it was just nasty. I mean, there's nothing more I could really say. And Toni being the older sister, and you sitting in your confessionals, that's the definition of gaslighting. You sitting at the table acting as if Tamar is not telling the truth, but then you get in your confessional and everything she said, you're saying, yeah, that was true. That's gaslighting to me. I just don't, I mean, and I just, yeah, I'm just team Tamar on this. And I just feel like, you know what? There's sometimes when somebody's right and somebody's wrong. Tamar can be extra, but if I know my sister has mental health issues, and I'm not going to sit there and say, Toni literally said this should be a whole mental health scene or whatever the case may be. Like, that is crazy. So you're really trying to tell the audience that my sister is so sick that this should be a mental health scene, but then you sit in your confessional and say, yeah, everything she's saying is true. And you even sat at the table and said, yes, Tamar called me about this phone situation. And this Towanda gonna say, oh, just because she said it mean it's true. If the bill was in her name, the bill was on her credit card in her name. I don't know. I just thought that whole scene was nasty work. And when you got 3 people against one, I don't care who you are, you're going to get the blowing up because you like, oh my God, all of these people are sitting here acting crazy. The assault wasn't necessary. It was what it was.
Wow. Okay. Wow, Diva. Oh my God. I am in shock. Not it was what it was. I don't know. And we can move on. You know, you can't throw rocks, and then when people decide to throw them back, you can't tell them how to get them. You went for the first low blow first, and after that, you get what you got.
What was Tamar's first low blow?
After they did not agree that any of them, after they agreed, none of them sent the address, she immediately came for Towanda. Immediately. She was the first person that came for somebody.
What did she say to her?
About Towanda and what was the first?
What she said was, you don't know my address, but I know yours because I gave the down payment.
Why was that necessary? But why was that necessary? Why?
Because I gave the down payment.
But why was that necessary? We're here to discuss the cease and desist. That is what we're here to talk about. That is what we were here to talk about. The cease and desist. But yet again, because things did not go your way, so now you brought all the information to expose the people.
I'm just saying, you don't know my address, but I know yours because you don't come to my house. We're gonna move forward. Go ahead.
So let's do that. Yeah, we gonna move on. Listen, we gonna pray for the people.
Tamar.
Hashtag Tamar. Health is real. Okay, it is real. In the words of Toni Braxton, it is real.
And you know what? In Toni Braxton, as an older sister, you do got some mental health issues, because when you can sit there and say that a whole scene needs to be about mental health, I thought it was crazy and nasty work. And for Towanda to say press charges against your own blood sister.
Yeah. You done threw glass at me. I already got a broke arm too. Yeah. I can't. I can't. And maybe I'm just a jacked up person in that manner, but I would have. And then I was so confused. Out of all people that you could have assaulted, you went and assaulted Trina, the very one who was sitting there not saying anything to anybody, but who stepped in between the two of y'all so that neither of y'all would fight. I don't understand it. I don't understand. But anyways, next up we are at Towanda's honor ladies of honor fitting. Okay, so this is the next day. Protecting the pedophile.
Okay, her mama ain't pressed charges against her, stealing Mama Braxton checks. Can we talk?
Somebody did. She had that mug shot.
Can we talk? Okay, can we talk? But go ahead.
So Towanda and Trina, they're meeting up for a little chat because, you know, this is the next day after the dinner. And so Trina said that the sisters have never been in this type of situation before, never been in this type of encounter before in their life. and she was just shocked at what happened. Towanda also said, Toni stepped to Tamar first. So why you didn't assault Toni then? Why did you assault Trina? Why? Because she know Toni would have pressed them charges for real if she would have hit her. That's why. She know who to play with and who not to. You wouldn't have done Tracy like that. And you didn't do Towanda like that. You know who to pick on. Towanda said that, it made her very sad the way everything rolled out. Towanda feels that Tamar is unpredictable and she doesn't know who she's going to deal with or who she's going to get anytime she's around her, and she doesn't feel safe. She said Tamar has gone from emotional abuse to verbal abuse to mental, now physical. We have experienced all the roller coasters of abuse through Tamar, according to Towanda. Trina shoved. How do we consider a shove somebody stepping between them and separating them?
Thank you, Will Games.
Trina
just tell the facts as you see it. Thank you, Will.
Are you?
Thank you,
Y'all need to
Will.
go to Lens Crafter. Y'all need to go get y'all eyes checked. Because if it was a police officer that would have stepped in between the two of them, would you have done that to a police officer? That would be a no. Delusional behavior. So, let's see. She said she's been physically, mentally, emotionally, verbally abused. Trina feels that Tamar got upset because she would turn to Toni and said, "You're a superstar. You're a legend. Sit down." And the next thing you know, she was being kicked and her hair was being pulled. Towanda said that she can't allow this in her life. And she's drawing a line, and it's not in the sand this time. It's in the concrete. She does not feel safe, nor does she want to be around Tamar. She doesn't want anybody stealing her joy, happiness, nor her peace during this time. Trina reminded Towanda that this time is all about her and that we're going to continue on with your bridal moment. And then I'll throw this in here as well. Toni is down in Miami for her jazz festival rehearsal. Now, Toni, unfortunately, right after the sisters' dinner, she had to wake up the next morning and fly down to Miami to get things kind of squared away for her show. Now, unfortunately, while she was heading to Atlanta to go check on Mama E doing her surgery for her heart, it was announced unfortunately that Angie Stone, had passed away due to a horrible car accident. And we all do remember that. That was back in March earlier this year. And so we're still sending our thoughts and prayers and condolences to the family. We also know that D'Angelo also passed away recently as well. So her son has lost his mother and father in less than what was that? Less than like a 6-month time span, Diva? Like very, very small. Yeah. So sending out prayers to them. So Toni was sharing with us, that they, in the music industry, a lot of people share people. And so, Angie Stone and Toni had the same background singer. They also had the same music director and a couple of the same technicians. And so, unfortunately, because they were also there for the accident, Toni did not want them stressing and worrying about her show. Okay, wow. Yes, because Toni did not want them to be worried about the show. She had to rechange a lot of things in her show. So unfortunately, she then had to reach out. She wanted to make it to Tawanda's bridal shower, but she's going to have to reach out to Towanda to talk about that as well. And then I'll throw this little scene in here as well because it was all together. Tawanda's bridal fitting, the ladies came. They all came to get their final dress sizing. Those who live out of town and who do not live in Atlanta. The dresses are chocolate, and so it's like a skirt and then a romper type of situation up at the top, I guess. Towanda feels that the bridal shower, she's excited about it, and she really wants to focus on having her moments leading up to her wedding. Towanda is also excited about her Bridgerton bridal shower that all of her friends and family are going to be at. Everybody has gotten their dresses. Her best friends were a part. Her best friends were a part of the Bridgerton watch parties that they were hosting. They seen every episode, and so that's what they wanted to do. Well, while they were talking about the Bridgerton scene, Toni then gives a call to Towanda, you know, asks how Umba's doing. You know, she says she's excited. She can't wait to see her at the bridal shower. Toni says, well, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it due to the accident that happened to Angie. She's got to rework her show, and so she's not going to be there. You know, Toni felt really, really bad about it. Trina cried. Towanda was upset. You know, she promised to make it up to Towanda. And so that was pretty much that conversation. Then we had, you know, Trina, who said, well, listen, I'm going to be here. It's okay. We're going to work things out. And so Jamie said, well, it's not okay, but we're going to make it okay. We're going to be here to support Towanda. We're going to make everything happen, even though we're not her birth sisters. You know, we are the sisters that she has chosen, and we're going to make this thing happen. So those were those three scenes. Anything on that?
Towanda, you know, I'm starting to not like Towanda. Towanda at this bridal shop, instead of saying we got to figure out how to mend our sisterhood and our friendship and all of that, she said, it's not written in sand, it's written in concrete. I'm done with my sister. So you claim on behalf of your sister that is no longer here, Tracy, that y'all doing this show because Tracy wanted y'all to. Tracy wanted y'all in her death to get back together, to come back together, to have a true sisterhood. And you say about your own sister that you got it in concrete, that you done with her? I was like, where they do that at? Like, wow. And you supposed to, your father, wasn't the father a pastor?
Mm-hmm.
You grew up in this religious family. Your father is a whole pastor, or was.
But he was lying to the people. We can't base off of that.
But you know what, though? The Bible says forgive 7 times 7 times 7. And you saying, and you know allegedly there's an excuse for your sister behavior because you want to exploit that she got mental health issues. But then you want to say you writing in concrete that you done with your sister? I was like, I'm done with her. I ain't even really, I can't even look at her the same. You done with your own sister, right? So now we have this Grace Love Lace bridal shop, and somebody put in the chat that Toni was never coming to these festivities, and I agree. Toni was never coming. Towanda had to say out her own mouth in her confessional that this has been planned for months, and Toni knew. Why would you book something the weekend that all my festivities are planned? Because Toni was never going to come in the first place, and I'm shocked. Toni actually showed up for the wedding. So even in Toni's confessional, when she's talking about Angie Stone passing away and how they all, you know, share the same dancers, backup singers, technicians, so forth and so on, I ain't see a tear roll down her cheek. I ain't see her eyes get watery. And then at the end, she's like, okay, next, let's move on. Toni, I see you. And like I said, I'm getting the ticket to this tour, okay? And yeah, Toni looked better than the bride, but that's a whole other story, right? Okay, come on, sincerely blessed. And you know what? And so here it is, Towanda. You dogging out the one sister who, when you asked her to be a lady of honor, she sent you a whole video, even though you've been shading her all that time. You dogging her out. You got it written in stone that you don't want nothing to do with her. And the sister you begging, every time you turn around, she telling you how she too busy to show up.
Mm.
She was never coming to that Bridgerton thing. I would have said, send me a picture of your dress that you already have, that you said is so cute, that you said you ain't going to be able to wear it. And Trina literally sitting there crying, okay? I'm just like, Trina, you knew Toni wasn't coming, and you feeling bad for Towanda because you the only one that's showing up, and you barely being able to show up because legit your husband is sick. So I was just like, and you know what? I will say this. Shout out to her one lady of honor that is definitely standing up, and stepping in. Because she was like, listen, we're going to rally around Towanda during this time period. Because it's sad that her own sisters are not showing up. And even all of her lady of honors was sitting there knowing that Toni was full of crap. And Toni tried to act like towards the end of that phone call, she had a tear in her eye. Toni ain't had no tear in her eye because she didn't have a dress. She didn't have a plane ticket. She wasn't coming. And it ain't had nothing to do with Angie Stone not being, passing away and her not having her backup singers and all of that. Toni Braxton have been in the game for at least 30 plus years in this industry. Toni knows how to adjust. So you trying to tell me you had to do all this to adjust because those individuals wasn't able to show up? Girl, you 30 years in the game. Let me tell you, in my profession, if they told me 10 other nurses are not coming, I'm not going to fall apart. We're going to make the adjustments and we're going to get this thing done. Because I'm 30 plus years in the game. I done been there, done that. This right here ain't shaking me. Toni Braxton is not like, and I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying they do different types of sets. Beyonce, the dancers don't show up. Beyonce be dancing all over that stage with her dancers, and they be in sync. But I bet you if the dancers don't show up, Beyonce could still get up there and pop it and rock it. So Toni Braxton don't even have all of these big production and the dancers and all of that other stuff. So Toni, you can adjust. You usually I've been to Toni Braxton's concerts before, and Toni Braxton normally, for the most part, she stands in one spot, and every now and then she do a little shimmy shake or whatever, she may move. But Toni Braxton is not doing no Chris Brown type of choreography or none of that. She's not doing all of that. So it was nonsense about she had to stay there practicing the judge. I see Toni. Whether she want to call herself Toni or Toni Michelle, I see both of them. And both of them is full of crap. Okay? Yeah, she do a little shimmy shake. She ain't, Toni Braxton ain't doing a whole, that. There you go, Roy. That's what. Toni Braxton ain't doing a whole bunch of stuff on that stage. Well, she full of crap. I was very disappointed in them in this episode.
Yeah, I was disappointed that Toni did not show up either, especially all that Towanda has done for Toni. Towanda sacrificed her children, being there for her children to help assist Toni with her career and her children. I thought it was very sad. As Towanda said, this event was booked 8 months. I need so
You already spit out my tea.
It's a stressful one, but we are here, people.
Woo, child. Woo.
I started to have a little glass of wine too, but I didn't want to get like Tamar and get out of control, so I had to keep myself in control. But yes, like I was truly disappointed that Toni did not show up. As Towanda said in her confessional, this was booked 8 months in advance. How did you end up booking this show the same weekend as my bridal shower? Like, I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing. And yeah, someone said in the comment, Toni said years ago, if my family was not my family, I would not be around them.
Ooh, God.
It shows.
It shows.
It shows.
It shows.
It definitely shows. But I do want to address and say that I really hate that nobody is showing up for Towanda. I think that, no matter what she has done or whatever the case may be, Towanda has been there for everybody. And I think the least that the people could have done was showed up and at least been there for her moment. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all, have fallouts and issues, but the least the people could have done, Tamar and Toni, was to be there to support Towanda through this moment. And so as a sisterhood, if we doing things for Tracy and trying to keep the sisterhood together, everybody failed except for Trina, because Trina has been there the best that she could, even with her husband's health situation going on. She's been there to support Towanda through this whole marital situation. And so it's a disappointment to Toni, you know, yet again, that she could not be there to support her sister. But shout out to Jamie, because that's a real friend.
Yeah, she is.
When the people who need to stand up can't stand up, that's what we here for. We here to stand up and to stand in their place. Towanda has planted sour seeds, and now it's time to reap what you sow. Okay.
Come on now.
Okay. I don't
Come
see
on
that.
now. You shall reap what you sow.
Other people as well. She's been there for those other people as well. And so just because she made a mistake, you know, she stole, you know, we're supposed to hold that to the gospel of her for everything that she's done now. That erases everything she's done for everybody. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. I just don't see it that way. So we can have grace and mercy for Tamar and what she does, but we can't have grace and mercy for the other people and what they do. So speaking of Tamar, we're at Tamar's photo shoot. And Tamar claims that she feels bad after she already told us at the dinner table that she was not going to feel bad about what she did because she did not care. She didn't care. But she tells us in her story later that she feels bad about what happened the other night with her sisters. But she's on to bigger and better. And, you know, she is preparing for her EP that's getting ready to drop. She's worked on some new music with a new producer. And so she is out here taking photos because she needs some images to go with this new song and these new songs that she has out, okay? So Tamar's outside. She's taking pictures. Her boobies are falling out the shirt because she got some new boobs. And then I guess the shirt not big enough for her new boobs. And they're so new that she can't feel her nips. So, you know, she don't know when they sticking out and when they not and what's going on. So people coming over to help cover her up at 48 years old, okay? After the scene of her taking her pictures, I want to say his name was OJ. Is that what you see? The producer?
I don't remember his name.
The producer said that he wanted to sit down and have a little conversation with Tamar. And so Tamar came on in the room and he said, listen, I've known you guys for years. We can't be fighting like this, Tamar. We can't be putting our hands on the people. Tamar said, well, the sisters shouldn't be fighting.
Come on now.
Feels that they have so much hate and anger at them. And she just wanted, you know, they have so much hate and anger at her because she wanted to bring Ashley on her platform. They stopped talking to her until it was time for filming. Tamar wants to know why Towanda brought up something that happened back in 1995 and it's 2025. And she doesn't understand how her sisters got to this place. OJ said Tawanda's getting married and we're supposed to be there to come together to support her. Tamar said, congratulations to Towanda. Towanda hasn't talked to me since the last taping of the BRAXTONS season 1. The producer said we can't be fighting and throwing. She said that y'all got me fighting and throwing drinks and pulling hair. I don't do that. That's the old Tammy. That's not what the new Tammy does. She said, I'm going to continue to film and do what I do. They can continue to film and do what they do. And you let me know when we got time. And if anything changes, we'll come back to it. Anything on that?
I mean, it was, you know, just in general, these people with this plastic surgery is insane. Okay. But I mean, her not even being able to feel like the fact that the little boobies is falling out and all that, you know, it is what it is. Her doing this scene, you know, to promote her LP, you know, it was what it was. But like you said, the interesting scene was her talking to the producer, right? And the producers, now Tamar, you 40, you put some clothes on, I know, right? Listen, I guess she's showing off her surgery. What are we gonna do? Sassy B, yeah, I'm team Tamar too, okay? Her talking to the producer, I really do feel for Tamar, because it's like she's on an island by herself, really. And I get it. And I do believe Towanda has even said it, like, you inviting her, not inviting her. You're not talking to her when the cameras are not rolling, but as soon as the cameras are rolling, you got some words for her. I think it's messy. Keep up the same energy if you 100% are going to keep it real. If you're not speaking to me when the camera's not rolling, don't speak to me when the cameras are rolling. And please, Tamar don't fell out with the whole Hollywood. She could fall out with the whole Hollywood, but you know what? Sisters are sisters. And let me tell you, this is just me. So I have 2 sisters and a brother. There ain't no way on the face of this earth am I ever going to say out my mouth that is written in concrete that I'm not going to speak to my own sister ever again. That's some trash right there. It's just not going to happen. Or my brother. It's just not going to happen. I'm never going to do that. And if I do know that my brother or my sister got mental health issues, I'm not going to sit here and make a joke out of it. I remember, and I don't want to get all deep into this. I think it was at one time, come on now, Sandra. Toni is 56 and she wears less clothes. You better talk about it, because Toni came to the dinner with her underclothes on and a see-through top, like she was about to do a ballerina dance. So, I mean, what? Yeah, you are right. Come on, Sandra. You come on. You helping me out here, sis. I love you. I love you. We got to keep our head up, the Team Tamar people over here. So you know, I just feel like this whole not even trying to embrace your sister, regardless of what is going on with her. The whole world could say, hate my sister, but I'm not. And that's a point blank in the period. So I don't care who she fell out with. I'm not going to fall out to the point with my own. Listen, the thing I got in common with my brothers and sisters is we all share the womb with my mother's womb. I'm not falling out and going to tear this street up with my own brothers and sisters. I'm not. And I'm not writing in no concrete that I'm not going to speak to my own brothers and sisters. And if anything, I would be saying, you know what, when I be in that confessional, listen, I'm praying to God that we can figure this thing out. And no, if my sister want to come to my wedding, let her come. She can come. Because you're never going to be able to get that back that your sister didn't show up for your wedding. I think it's messy. You know, I understood Tamar talking to the thing. She said, I'm a film and let them film and we'll figure it out. And she keeps telling, the producer even said to Tamar that Towanda says she don't want you there. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was reading. Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. It's just a lot of contradictions to me from Tamar. So you can bring up stuff that has happened in the past, but then when other people bring up stuff that's happened in the past, and it's a problem. You brought up the past, Tamar. So when she bring up the past, what are you upset about? It's the constant contradictions. And blood or not, I love my brother to death. I really, really do. But never will I ever stand and let you put your hands on me. Never will I ever allow you to continue over and over again to mentally, emotionally abuse me. I'm not going to do that. If this is a pattern that I'm seeing constantly, unfortunately, I have to let you loose until you can change your ways, until you can change them. And we seen earlier in the episode, I want to say in episode 2, she already said she wasn't going because her birthday and Towanda's wedding day was on the same weekend. So you had no intentions of going anyways. So why are you upset that Towanda said, then I don't want you there? You didn't want to be there, so why should I want you to be there? Mm-hmm. Tamar, you say one thing, and then you contradict the next thing that you say based off of what you said the first time. Even the producer said that you cannot be fighting. You picked the fight. You chose to be the first one to draw the fight by throwing the glass or hitting the glass or whatever the case may be. You started the fight. If this were to go to court, Tamar was the aggressor. You were the aggressor. You started this. So how can you say, but then they shouldn't be fighting either? Nobody else's fault. Trina stepped in, and if you go back and watch it, she touched both Toni and Tamar and separated the both of them. if I was fighting with my sibling, I would hope that somebody would step in between us and not allow us to fight, because it ain't a cute look for us to be grown at almost 50 sitting up on the TV fighting. I can't fall with it. And then to take no accountability for anything. You took no accountability. None. So Towanda we're having her Bridgerton bridal party. And so Towanda's getting her makeup done. She's getting prepared. They're working on her wig. She's doing all the things. And so Towanda said that she's not, in the best of spirits. Unfortunately, Tracy is not here. And so that's making it even harder. She knows that Tracy would be, making jokes and laughing and talking and being funny. And she would have really invested into the Bridgerton theme. She would have had the dress and the language, because Tracy really was that girl. When there was a theme, Tracy committed to it. And I could think back on the many a times where she showed up and just made the scene so much fun. And so, Diva, I think we can both agree that we miss Tracy's spirit of that happy-go-lucky feeling just being on the set. It is truly missed. And I think I agree with Towanda. She would have been super excited. She would have been there for every moment, celebrating Towanda as well. One of the ladies asked, was Toni going to make it to the bridal party? Or not Toni, excuse me. Was Tamar making it to the bridal shower? And so Towanda said, is anybody going to pop the champagne? Can we open a bottle? Let's get it going. Okay. So the other lady said, well, I guess by her silence, that means that Tamar will not be there. They go ahead and get Towanda all dressed up in her dress. Now, the other bride, what are they? Ladies of honor. Ladies of honor. They left ahead of time to go ahead and get to the venue so that they can continue to get things set up. Mama E is already over there, a couple of other people as well, okay? So Towanda gets dressed. She arrives to the event. She's excited to see her mom. Miss E looks really good with her Bridgerton style dress. The theme was there. Everybody was dressed up and ready. The only thing that was missing was a couple of Towanda's ladies of honor, including her sister Trina, okay? Towanda was not very happy because the ladies left 40 minutes before her. They should have been there on time, making sure everything was good, awaiting her. Well, Trina finally walks in. Unfortunately, she's still trying to help Vaughn deal with his heart issues. And so she was a little late to the party, but she arrived. She's got on her big skirt, her big dress, with her big hips. She comes in, she greets Mama E. And so that pretty much ends us off on that episode. Towanda wants her friend to meet with the ladies of honor to make sure that everybody understands what they need to be doing, how they need to be supportive, and all of that good stuff. So that was that episode.
Not 48 said it looked more like Easter Sunday with a splash. Woo, child. Again, you can't put out sour grapes and expect, all this goodness to come back to you. So here you are. You got some of the people left early. They ain't even make it there. It's a mess. Mama E actually did look good. I'm going to give this to Mama E.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, Mama E, she tore that thing down. I think she was the cutest one there from what we saw so far. Towanda's outfit, I wasn't really here for it. She's going all the way to the left with this lavender, purple, whatever. I mean, I get it. That's your color. You love it. That's your theme. I think she probably would have looked better without that thing on top of her head, even though I know the theme was Bridgerton. I just, I wasn't really here for it. Trina's look was I thought it was with the big thing or whatever the case may be. I can say is I really do love her one girlfriend. That girlfriend ain't playing. She living up to the ladies.
Jamie is living up to the title. Okay,
she's standing on business. Okay. She said, no, don't worry. No, it ain't right. They did leave, and that's messed up that they wasn't here, whatever the case may be. And she said, maybe they should have, Towanda was like, maybe they should have took a class. She said, don't worry, I'm going to handle it. I'm gonna handle it. She gonna speak to the ladies. She gonna gather the ladies together. So I'm here for her girl. Yeah, she a real one. She a real one. I gotta make sure I got my real one. You know when my day come, because she keeping it 100.
Look, don't depend on Toni and Tamar. It ain't coming.
Yeah, and you know what I like? She ain't talking negative about the sisters. She's just accepting the situation for what it is, telling the other girls we about to step up. You ain't hear her say nothing bad about the other sisters. She a real one. I like her. Come on, Jamie. I like Jamie a lot, okay?
She was the best thing about the whole episode, literally.
Literally. She always stepping up, saying the right thing, and she just listening to her bride and telling her bride, don't worry, you keep it pushing. I'm going to handle everything, right? You know, I just, all I can say is, yeah, keeping it positive. That's a good friend. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I like her. I like her a lot. You know, she could be a wedding planner because she know how to just keep things rolling. Keep things smooth, and it's like, listen, you got a problem, I'm going to handle it. Don't worry about nothing. I got this. We're going to talk about it, right? You know, other than that, yeah, Miss E was called the Queen Mother. Other than that, I mean, I wasn't impressed by what I saw with this Bridgerton theme, bridal shower. Shocker, Toni wasn't coming. Shocked, not shocked. Okay. I'm surprised Toni even made it to the wedding. Now I know she made it because I saw the pictures on their sites or whatever for in real time. So Toni actually made it to the wedding. You know, in this constant, this is how I tell you Towanda is messy. This constant putting up when they show Brookie, her daughter, that is her and Sean's daughter, is messy. And where is her son? Is he at the wedding? Where's her son? And see, this is why I know Towanda is full of crap too, because where's Scratchy? You loved him so much. You was gonna make sure he was good since Tracy died. Where is he? Why isn't he on the screen? The first whole season when y'all came back, it was Scratchy, 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 Scratchy. Now this is one of the most important days of your life. Nothing is ever going to stop you from walking down this aisle. Where's Scratchy? Her son was at the wedding. Is her son one of the men that's on the men's side? Ebony, just let me know. Okay, but I do want to know. I still want to know where's Scratchy. And you know, when Toni called, just to back up a little bit, Royaire, when Toni called in to say she wasn't coming to the shower, she was like, "Hey, Umba, I swear to goodness, I'm doing the thing right now.
You knew it then. You knew it then.
I swear to goodness that I never heard them calling her Umba until now."
So and this goes back to the first season, and I remember this because I went back and looked at it. They said that none of the nieces and the nephews could call her Towanda, and that's how the name came about. Now, Towanda would be a hard name to say as a baby or a smaller child. Towanda, like, I feel like would be easier, I think, to me.
All right, I gotta go back and pull that scene up. If you could tell me exactly what episode that happened, I would love to go back and look at it. Well, she ain't got no money. Yeah. She owed Tamar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she want to not do a prenup and be a fool. That's on her. Let me tell you something, Royaire. And this is for the people. Yeah, they both have no money. You are correct. This is for the people in the back of the room. I don't care who you are. You get a prenup. The person you marry is not the person you're about to divorce. And it's a point blank in the period. People get nasty when it comes to money. And I'm telling you this right here, right now, Royaire, whoever it is, they not leaving with half my townhouse.
Protect the townhouse. Protect the townhouse, okay?
Protect the townhouse. Protect the 2 bedrooms, 1.5 bath, the unfinished basement. Protect the townhouse. You're not leaving
like
the house.
You gotta do like Tamar. I'm choosing me, Lucius. This is me. I'm choosing me.
Woo! Child.
You gotta choose. You gotta choose you, Diva. Choose you, girl.
Okay. Come on, my shoes and everything. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And no, you're not getting part of my 401k.
Okay.
No. I'm not. No. Come on, Royaire. What I look like in my 70s, broke, because you done took half my stuff. We ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. There will be a prenup.
You better.
Sign on the dotted line. I'm gonna do like Candy did.
And Candy was not walking down that aisle till Todd signed that prenup. You hear me?
Yeah, she played him on. He played him on that show because she had the camera. She recorded it. She recorded it.
I said, not the notary too.
Yeah, Candy didn't have to do Todd like that. She didn't have to do Todd like that. She didn't have to do him like that, but she sure did. She had the lawyer. She had him recorded. And remember, he tried to negotiate at the last minute. And she said, no.
No, nuh-uh. No, ma'am. No.
Yeah. What's the birth order of the sisters? I want to say
it's Toni, Tracy, Towanda, Trina, Tamar.
Okay.
The brother is in between Toni and Tracy. So it's technically Toni, the brother, Tracy, Towanda, Trina, Tamar.
You better go ahead and know in that order. Yeah, poor Todd.
Because it was a scheme that Todd set up.
Come up with the phone. Woo! Yeah.
Right. Listen, people, we appreciate y'all for joining us for our recap of the Braxtons, episode 4. Where did we go wrong? This was a great recap. Thank you guys for joining us. At the end of every episode, we like to get your thoughts and opinions on the episode on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. Please leave your ratings down below in the comment section. We'll give our ratings and then we'll come to you guys. So, Auntie, your final thoughts and opinion and your ratings?
My rating for this episode is a 10 across the board, okay? We finally got to see the scene, the whole dinner scene. And you know what? I was here for it because, you know, truthfully, the truth be told, in real life, you know, there's families that do go through it.
Yes.
So we got to see them really go through it. And Tamar, keep your head up because I'm here for you, boo. I'm here for you, Tamar, okay? So keep your head up, Tamar. So yes, I'm giving it a 10. I'm giving it a 10 because we saw the real. I'm giving it a 10 because Toni, you know, she was trying to not have the family business be out in the streets because she was like, we not ghetto. That's not what we do. Girl, bye, okay? Because that was some ghetto mess that we saw at that dinner, okay? And that was your sisterhood right there, okay? So 10 across the board. I'm enjoying watching this show. And just so you know, when me and Royaire go to recap these shows, we have to watch it about 2 to 3 times.
Yes.
To make sure if we still can't capture and remember everything, but we are watching this show like 2 or 3 times. And the whole time I watched this thing over, I was just like, OMG. Yes. Literally, I was like, OMG. It was a lot. It was a stinking hot mess. But I was here for it. And I actually like the way that production is doing this, Royaire. And you know what? Shout out to the one producer that we keep seeing on the show. The one that talked to Tamar, the one that
his name is OJ or OG or something like that.
That's what his name is. Whatever his name is, I'm liking him. Can they need to give him an extra check. a check as the talent and a check as the producer, because even when he came in the middle and he was like, well, we not about to do this, are we? It's like, no, we doing this. He was like, all right, okay. You know, so shout out to him, because I feel like he's a character in the show now, and I'm liking him too. So the whole thing for me gets a 10.
I have to agree with you. If we talking about reality TV, this is reality TV at its best. Nothing was held back. Everything was put on the table, and they did it. 10s across the board. You know, I will say it is very unfortunate that we have to see the sisterhood falling out like this. But more than what we realize, Diva, these are a lot of people's families in real life. We just do not see the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so I know a lot of people say that this family likes drama and this family likes to be in the mess and all of this stuff. I really don't think that. I really think that they have dynamics like every other family. And the only difference is they getting on TV to talk about in front of the world what they have gone through or what they are going through. Right. And for them to be brave enough, for all of them, including Tamar. Look, I'm not a Tamar hater at all, but including Tamar, for them to get on this TV and to spill out their guts, their true lives, and to share their truth, how they seen it. Hats off. So many reality shows we see, Diva, they want the cameras to trick to see how things are and not tell it and see how, I mean, nobody was safe in this situation. Everybody got put on Front Street. Everybody got seen for who they were. So it was a great episode. 10 across the board. And if you're going to do reality TV, this is how it needs to be done. In truth, honesty, and in realness. Period. Point blank. Great episode. Great episode. And we only on episode 4, Diva. I don't know how many episodes we get. So we gonna see. But Ebony is giving us a 9, or the episode a 9. Sasuke is giving it a 7.5. 48 is giving it a 10 because of Tamar. Monique said 10 for Tamartians. Tamar. Nancy is giving it a 9. Or excuse me, Nisi. Cindy is giving it a 10. Lady Lynn is giving it a 10. Ron is giving it a 9. All right, people. Well, listen, this was a great episode. Just imagine that the Jackson family on reality TV before Michael Jackson passed.
Listen, it would have been a hot mess because you and Latoya is their Tamar, because I don't know if y'all remember when he was going through that trial, when he was accused of touching the little boys, Latoya, and they shut Latoya down. Latoya came out and said, Michael, tell the truth. It's a shame what you did to those boys. And they say, you know, we ain't hear from Toya again.
Yeah. Peggy is giving us a 10. Oh, that's my granny's name. Thank you for joining us today, Peggy. Forever 21 says, hello, Royaire and Diva. I rate a 10. Great reality TV. It was great reality TV for sure. This was so good. Well, Diva, even though we agreed to disagree, I still love you.
I love you back.
You know you my boo.
Yes. Listen, we here. We gotta do what we gotta do. You gotta do what we gotta do. It's okay.
Tay, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. Tay is giving it a 9. Okay. Well, Diva, I'm excited to see where we go going forward. You know, I'm excited to see how the rest of this bridal shower will roll out. Maybe Toni will surprise us and pop up at the shower next week. Maybe so. We'll see. It will be a shocking surprise for sure if she actually does. But, you know, maybe we'll see how that turns out. I see that they have released the pictures and videos of the wedding. I know we kind of went through that last week. So if you missed that, you can go back and check out our recap, or you can go over to Towanda's Instagram and see that. What were your thoughts on the dresses that you seen from this episode?
The Bridgerton dresses,
the brown dresses, or the did you see?
I feel like the girls, from what I see, I'm gonna wait till we see it close up. But I feel like the girls I like their dresses better. I didn't hate Towanda's dress. I think she should have balanced out the lavender color, because her veil lavender wasn't matching the lavender on the dress. It seems like the girls were looking, you know, They look all right. They didn't look bad. Yeah, I have to see it a little bit close up and see how it appears on TV.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see how that's going to turn out. I was not expecting this for season 2 of the Braxtons, and I'm curious of how they're going to recover from this, if they can recover from this, and if Tamar will continue on with season 3. As she said, she vowed not to come back to the show. Here she is again, and so I'm curious to see how all this will roll over into maybe a season 3. I just don't know, but I would love to hear what Mama E's thoughts were on this as well. Mama E, we need you to come through and share your thoughts and opinions on your girls getting on TV and acting like this.
And you know what though? You know what, Royaire, speaking of Mama E, she really needs to step in. She really needs to step in. This situation needs healing, and it's not right that the girls are in the space that they in. And Umba is the problem. Is that how you say her nickname?
Umba. And I'm going to agree with you partially. I don't think that Umba is the problem. Mr. Braxton and Mrs. Braxton is the problem.
Ooh, well, there you said a word there. But I think if you want to go there, I think it's more Mama Braxton, Mama E.
Oh, yeah.
Mama E is she's better. Better. She's better.
And these girls in their latter years, those latter formative years, is when they went through the divorce and they seen that bitterness with their mom. They were already close to their mom. They seen the bitterness and they lived that, and they're stuck in that trauma, if you may. They are stuck at that age of that divorce, the falling out of the family, everything that happened. And I don't know what it's going to take. It's really going to take Mama E really stepping up and taking accountability for not being a good example for her girls.
Yeah.
Tamar is an exact reflection of Miss E, which is why she does not check her. That anger, that frustration, Miss E wants to be, she is still mad at her ex-husband. And I imagine how Tamar acts is how Miss E acts when she's really upset.
Well, Tamar, and I'm not saying that she's not close to her other daughters, but we know Tamar, Miss E close, because remember when Tamar don't got nowhere to go, her and Miss E lived together.
And she was the baby girl. That's what I'm saying. She was there to see Miss E and how her behavior was. She was there. And she picked up on that behavior and she followed through with it. And then also to Tamar as well, love you dearly, boo, but you need to fire whoever these counselors are that's seeing you, because they're not helping you at all.
Oh my God, I ain't gonna agree with that.
They're not helping you at all.
I disagree. I'm just
seeing the same Tamar from the past 12 years. I haven't seen any change. And if we've been in therapy and we've been doing our work and we're over this, I didn't see the change at all. I didn't see the work.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yanla seen it either. If we were to call a Yanla to this meeting, she don't see it either. But listen, y'all, make sure y'all hit the like button on both channels, Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva and Royaire's World. We are recapping the Braxtons, as you know. We are recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac, which comes on tomorrow. No, what's today? Sunday.
No, it is. Yeah, it comes on tonight. It comes on tonight.
So
we recap tomorrow.
Yes, my time was a little off. We jumped.
I think because no worries. I think it's because we what do you call it? Help me out.
Oh, we recapped Wednesday.
No, because we went back an hour. We gained an hour last night, right, or something like that.
Yeah, we
gained an hour. Yeah.
Yes. So Potomac comes on tonight. Make sure you check that out. If you can't see it tonight, you can see it tomorrow on Peacock. Excuse me. And then we're going to do our recap of Potomac on tomorrow at 6 p.m. So make sure you join us for that. Also, we will be preparing to recap Married to Medicine. They just dropped their date. November 30th is when Married to Medicine will be back. So we are gearing up for that as well. Next Gen has been renewed for season 2. The girlies are filming, and there's a lot of drama going on over at the Next Gen. So we'll talk about a little bit of that tomorrow as we open up for our street news. Because word on the curve is Mama Joyce has come right out through Riley, okay? Diva, anything else before we go?
No, I think that's good.
Are you doing a trending topics to this evening or tonight?
I am doing a trending topics this evening. Not sure about the time, but I'm pulling together the show now. So join me tonight for Trending Topics Sunday, y'all.
So what you can do is once you subscribe, you can go over to her notification bell and turn it on all. That way you see each and every time the both of us go live or post a video. Well, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, make sure you hit the like button to Royaire's World and Chronicles of the Gray Hair Diva. Make sure you subscribe, share our videos. We appreciate y'all for coming through and watching us on these Sunday afternoons. We've been having great turnouts. We've been getting some great new subscribers, and your thoughts and opinions have been everything. So we appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and we will catch y'all next time we are live. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Good night, y'all.
Royaire World.